Krishna This evening I wanted to discuss a little bit from the Caitanya Candramrta. The Caitanya Candramrta is a book about Caitanya Mahaprabhu, which was written by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati was a sannyasi. He was a sannyasi in the family of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He was an uncle of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Actually, Gopal Bhatta appeared in Sri Rangam, and so did his uncle, Prabodhananda Saraswati, and also his father, Tirumala Venkata Bhatta, were all residing in Sri Rangam, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there for a period of 4 months during the rainy season. And it was the practice that sannyasis would travel, roam around, but during the rainy season they would stay for 4 months, which is the period of the monsoon. They would stay in one place. So at that time Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Sri Rangam. His deities are still there. There are some unusual deities of Lord Jagannath. They sort of look like Lord Vishnu, but it is Jagannath. One can recognize Jagannath. You can Google it on the internet and easily find it. Lord Chaitanya's deities in Sri Rangam, and they're very nice. I mean, special. I have a picture of it somewhere on Sri Computer. What can be said? Today you have it and tomorrow you don't. That's how it is with cyberspace. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was instructed a lot by his uncle, Prabodhananda, who virtually was becoming his spiritual master. Srila Prabodhananda was a very powerful devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in particular, and also Krishna. And he wrote this book, the Caitanya Candramrta, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is strong. It goes from strength to strength, as they say in English, you know, like it's virtually speaking, you don't catch him on a moment that he's not full on in his intensity of focus. Sometimes we, for a moment, focus very intensely on the Lord, and then again, but not Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. He was very strong. So let us begin and read a few samples of the translation of the first chapter. I will just here and there, the book is not very big, you know. It's a relatively short text, and I will collect some verses from it just randomly, you know, as it looks nice, and comment a little bit in between, and that's sort of my plan for the evening. So I start with the second verse. One who is untouched by any piety, who is completely absorbed in irreligion, or one who has never received the merciful glance of the devotees, or been to any holy place sanctified by them, will still ecstatically dance, loudly sing, and even roll about on the ground when he becomes intoxicated by tasting the nectar of the transcendental mallows of pure love of God given by Lord Chaitanya. Let me therefore glorify that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you can see a sample of what I was talking about on the second verse. He's right there. Even if you've never ever done any pious activity, even if you've never been in any holy place, never been sanctified by the mercy of any devotee, it doesn't matter. You will still dance ecstatically or roll on the ground if you get touched by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And taste and become intoxicated by tasting the mellows of pure love of God. Not textury, not attainable by the faithful performance of pious deeds, not understood by those engaged in austerity, meditation and yoga, not guessed by those absorbed in detachment, renunciation of prayers, and unknown even to the devotees full of love for Lord Govinda, the secret of pure devotional service as revealed by the holy name during Lord Gaura's event. Let me glorify that Gaura. Yes, that unique quality of love that is displayed by the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not even found in India otherwise, which is such a place full of very pious people. It is amazing what devotion one may still find in India today. I recall that on one occasion there was a group of devotees from Vrindavan who were very enthusiastic to go to the Kumbh Mela in Haridwar. So somehow or other they talked me into it to go on the bus, and there we went. It was an old bus and the thing was driving all night, and we were all sort of dozing in the bus, and then at about 2 o'clock or so the police stopped the bus, and the police basically start hitting with sticks on the bus, with bamboo sticks like in India, and get very aggressive and say that we have to park the bus. And again, they're beating the bus to make it very clear. You have to park now. And to park, but where do we park, right? Yeah, right there in that field, in a field. And we all got out of the bus, and the people were not at all upset about it. They just accepted it, and we were going to Haridwar. So everyone just started walking. Okay, walk along, and after about 20 minutes, some doubt was that, are we going in the right direction anyway? They kept on walking, and in due course of time we did meet someone somewhere and asked directions, and it was wrong. And we had to turn around, you know. So by then the Western mind goes like, oh my God, what's happening here, right? This is like going to be a night and a half, oh, why did I go on this trip, kind of thing, right? The Western mind. But no one seemed to be disturbed about it, and they just turned around and just walked in the other direction, back again, and you know, we walked the whole night, and by, well, the whole night, that is for the rest of the night, by 5:30 in the morning, 3.5 hours later, we walked into Haridwar. So we came just to the Ganga, through a mass of people. We reached the Ganga, and it was early morning, and it was ice cold. The weather was cold. It was really like cold mountain air coming in from the Himalayas, and you know how these mountain streams are, they're also on the fresh side, so the Ganga was also cold. So I thought to myself, well, let's wait till the sun rises, you know, and warm up a little, and then I'll jump in the Ganga. Not the people that came with me, you know. Oh no, as soon as they saw the Ganga, they went for it, you know, they just jumped in the ice water fearlessly and ecstatic and so on. And well, I followed them, also jumped in, and you know, I was thinking, oh well, at least I made a call to the ISKCON camp, and they said they would reserve a tent for me, and you know, I think I'm ready for my tent, right? So let's go looking for that tent, and I'll have a nap. Meanwhile, the other people on the bus, they had no tent, they had nothing, and they just sort of came there, and what did they do? They just immediately went to all the pandals and to the programs, and they sat down the whole day and listened to the programs, and they went on till the last program, And then they would just stay in the pandal and sleep there. So, you know, like imagine, we have a program, we go on late night, and then you all at the end sort of grab a cushion or something and sleep somewhere in the temple room, and then tomorrow we continue ecstatically from Mongolarti. Again, for the Western mind, that would be like, I'm not really going to do that, is it? But in India, chalega, yes, no problem. And everyone was ecstatic. So this kind of piety one finds in India. One finds such natural eagerness, you know, when it comes to the Lord. Oh, then everyone is so eager, right? So eager, yes. Such eagerness one finds in India. And what shall we say? Such eagerness may be found, but still, one may find great devotees of Lord Govinda. But still, these devotees of Lord Govinda, even if they may be full of love, they are not getting the same depth of love or ecstasy like those devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna in the movement of Lord Chaitanya. That is basically what Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur is saying. So, let that sink in for a moment. That's quite something. Yeah, of course, you know, and we may think, and we, of course, are part of that. No, not in that way. No, edit that out, try again. And Srila Prabhupada was such an ecstatic devotee. He was actually an ecstatic devotee, Prabhupada. Yeah. Prabhupada's ecstasy was overwhelming, and it was for that reason that he was able to do what he did. He was just, what Prabhupada describes in the Nectar of Devotion, he describes that devotees have two types of hearts. One heart is the golden heart, he said, and the other heart is the heart like a cotton swab, a little thread of cotton. So some people have a cotton swab heart, you know, and the slightest breeze. So, Krishna, Govinda, Jagannath, like that, the cotton swab heart, right? And then, can you not look with one eye? Please, not one eye. I'm sorry, it's not good. Yes, so Prabhupada told us that. Never look with one eye, that's inauspicious. And never try and settle a matter while standing in the doorway. Because when you stand in the doorway and you talk about any matter, it will lead to nothing. H.H.Kadamba Kanana Swami told me that one. Anyway, I was somewhere. The golden heart and the cotton swab heart. So the golden heart is different than the cotton swab heart. The golden heart is very serious, and Prabhupada was hiding, kept it internal, was grave, was not displaying his ecstasy. But internally, it was just brimming and overflowing with ecstatic love, relishing this inconceivable mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada did not just come to the West to fulfill the order of his spiritual master as a dutiful disciple. Prabhupada came to the Western world as an ecstatic disciple of his spiritual master who had tasted the ecstasy of chanting the holy name and came with great ecstasy to give the greatest gift. He knew it was the greatest gift, not just philosophically, I am going to give the greatest gift to the people to the fallen conditioned souls of the world and preach the Sankirtan mission. No, it was full of experience and full of taste and full of nectar. So like this Prabhupada came. So Prabhupada was certainly such an ecstatic devotee. For those who have attained the merciful sidelong glance of Lord Gauranga, it Impersonal liberation becomes as palatable as going to hell. The heavenly cities of the demigods become as real as flowers imagined to float in the sky. The poisonous fangs of the untamable black snakes of the senses become broken. The whole world becomes full of joy. And Brahma, Indra, and all the great demigods become like tiny insects. Let us glorify that Lord Guru. This is a famous verse about breaking the poison fangs of the snake. Snake is very fearful. Snake, right? I have experience with snakes also. And it can be sort of intense when one is facing a cobra. They can be very voracious. I've seen cobras swimming in Mayapur in the flood with their mouth wide open to the water. It's like, whoa. And I was swimming through that water before. So, yes. And then Prabodhananda speaks out at the end of his first chapter, which is only 7 verses, right? So very short. He says, "What benefit did the world attain when Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, and many other incarnations of Godhead killed so many Rakshasas and Daitya demons? What benefit did the world attain? How important is it that Lord Kapila and other incarnations revealed the path of Samkhya and Yoga? How glorious is it that Lord Brahma and other Guna avatars create, maintain, and destroy the material universes? How auspicious is it that Lord Varaha lifted the earth from the Garbhodak ocean? We do not consider any of these activities to be very important." So this almost sounds like blasphemy. I mean, you know, should we cover our ears here? Have you heard? In minimizing the activities of the Lord, of Lord Ramachandra. What's going on? This is, Hanuman might not like this, but, but the point he made, we do not consider any of these activities to be very important. The most important thing is that Lord Chaitanya has revealed the great splendor of pure love of Krishna. Let us glorify that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Hanuman appeared as Murari Gupta. And Hanuman was there. And Hanuman was close and intimate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his close friend all throughout his youth, basically. He was older, but they were both studying scriptures and Sanskrit. And when Nimai Pandit was so learned, Murari would daily debate with him, daily. And Murari was really studying the scripture and thinking about what Mahaprabhu had said. And Mahaprabhu would have defeated him the day before, and Murari would come back and say, "I have thought about what you said yesterday, and actually, you know, I tell you, in such and such scripture it says this, and therefore you are wrong." And then Nimai would defeat him again. And each day it would continue like that. So they had such a relationship, very active, Murari, who was known. And then one time, Murari actually was a devotee of Lord Ramachandra, and one time Lord Chaitanya told him, "Oh Murari, you must worship Krishna. You must give up the worship of Lord Ramachandra and worship the Adipurusha Krishna. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead." Murari, sincerely surrendering to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tried that night to give up Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the morning, Murari fell at the feet of Lord Chaitanya and he said, oh my Lord, please allow me to die. Allow me to die. I cannot give up my Lord Ramachandra, but I can also not ignore your order. So please let me die. Then Lord Chaitanya picked him up and embraced him. And with his finger he wrote Ramdas on his forehead. And he said, "You are Hanuman, you are Hanuman." And he wrote Ramdas on his forehead. "You are glorious. You cannot give up your Lord under any circumstance." So that is there. So even Hanuman was there with Lord Chaitanya, sharing in the nectar, because now what the Lord revealed was unique. When Lord Ramachandra came to this planet, we see that Lord Ramachandra at all times adheres to the principles of Dharma. And the whole Ramayana is about that principle. We may recall in the Ramayana how Sita was kidnapped by Ravana and taken off towards the south. Lord Ramachandra went south, and then it was there that Hanuman appeared, and Hanuman introduced himself as the minister of Sugriva and proposed a pact with Sugriva. That Lord Ramachandra could be helped by an army of monkeys who could all try to find Sita, and that maybe Ram could help in resolving the problem that Sugriva had with his brother Bali. See, there was some old difference between the brothers, and basically there was a particular hill where Bali could not go because he was cursed, that if he would ever set foot on that hill, he would die. So that's where Sugriva was hiding from Bali. But every day, and you never knew at what time, but every day, somehow or other, suddenly, unexpected, Bali would come flying through the sky with a huge jump, and then he would just land with one foot with a big kick on the head of his brother Sugriva, and then jump off on the other side, just outside the hill. And in this way he made sure that although Sugriva was there in hiding on that hill, that he never had a peaceful day, and that he had a big headache. So this was the relationship. So it was getting just intolerable. And finally, Lord Ramachandra agreed to this pact that the monkeys would help to seek out Sita, and in turn he would kill Bali. So then Lord Ramachandra hid behind a tree, and he shot Bali from behind a tree. As he's flying through the sky, about to kick his brother, from behind a tree, suddenly, Lord Ramachandra shoots him. And then he walks to Bali, who's dying, and Bali is lying there and saying, "What kind of Kshatriya are you? In such a cowardly way you have shot me. What kind of Kshatriya are you? Are you following the principles of Dharma like a coward? You shot me from behind a tree, you could not face me." Then Lord Ramachandra said, "My dear Bali," he said, "what you are discussing is the principles of Dharma which are followed by the Kshatriyas. But actually, you are not a Kshatriya. You are a wild animal. And the Kshatriyas traditionally go hunting in the forest, and they hide, and they shoot the wild animals from hiding. So how did I deviate from Dharma? And besides that, you are a criminal." Right? And then he gave the whole list of all the atrocities he had performed to his brother. And finally, Bali acknowledged it. "All right, yes, you did not deviate from Dharma." Oh, that Dharma in the Ramayana is such a thing. It is all-devouring Dharma. It is too much. At the end, Sita is saved, and finally got the glorious moment after such a terrible battle. And then as he's brought before Ram, Ram says, "Now you can go. You are free to go." Free to go? What do you mean? United with the husband, free to go? And after all that, you're telling me now you're free to go? How is this possible? And then Ramachandra said, "Yes, you have stayed in the house of another man overnight, so I cannot take you back." That's the dharmic rule. This dharma again. And then Sita, to show her purity, she entered into fire and she came out unburned. Well, okay, then Ramachandra took Sita back and they went off to Lanka, from Lanka to Ayodhya, came to Ayodhya, and there Ram ruled nicely. And then there was this sinful man and a sinful wife. And Ramachandra was as a Vedic king incognito in the kingdom, and he heard this man say to his wife, "No, no, no, you're not coming back in. No, I will not take you back. I'm not like the king, you know. He may take his wife back who stayed in another man's house, but I have principles. No, no, you're not coming back in. No way, no, no, no." And like this, yes. So after that, when Lord Ramachandra heard that, at that point, it dawned upon him that there was the greatest moment, that this was the greatest moment of tragedy in his life. Because then Lord Ramachandra went back to the palace and he told Sita to go. It's too much, isn't it? This dharma, it's just like, you know. So Lord Ramachandra is just showing dharma to an extreme. That's his example. But what is missing is what we see in Krishna. How Krishna sometimes breaks the rules of dharma. When Bhishmadev, oh yes, Krishna had promised that he would never fight in the battle. But somehow or other, Bhishmadev fought so intensely that he forced Krishna to break that vow. And Krishna, to protect Arjuna, took up a chariot wheel, right? And here is Krishna who broke the rule of dharma to protect his devotee. So here, in showing the rules of dharma, the Supreme Lord, Lord Ramachandra, is showing the example of how a human being should act. And in the case of Krishna, he shows how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is acting out of love, you see. So he reveals more about the spiritual world. But then, in the case of Lord Chaitanya, yes, then he just gives this splendor of pure love for Krishna so easily. What is otherwise difficult becomes easy with the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is easy is still difficult if one doesn't have the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chapter 2. Let me offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Caitanya Chandra, whose face is as splendid as millions of moons, and whose smile is as charming as moonlight. He's like a moon that has just risen from the ocean of the bliss of pure love for Lord Krishna. Moving his hands and feet, raising the two golden rods of his arms, trembling as he dances, and loudly calling out, Hari, Hari! In ecstatic bliss, Lord Caitanya Chandra vanquishes the inauspiciousness of this world. To that Lord Caitanya Chandra, whose eyes are like two large lotus flowers, who is immersed in tasting the sweet nectar of pure love of Krishna, and who's the crest jewel of all incarnations, I offer my respectful obeisances. To Lord Hari, his eyes now, like millions of rain clouds shedding torrents of tears, the opulence of pure love of Krishna, making him laugh at millions of Vaikuntha worlds, his charming handsomeness like millions of nectar oceans, and his role, now that of a sannyasi, I offer my respectful obeisances. So we can see, the Prabodhananda Saraswati is visualizing Lord Chaitanya. He's not just thinking, Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful incarnation. And he freely distributes the most ecstatic love of God, even to the most fallen. Yeah? And as we may recite a lesson learned by heart without any feeling or without actually visualizing it. But Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati is visualizing, he is seeing Lord Chaitanya before his mind's eye, and he's seeing how the Lord is crying, right? Endless tears, like millions of rain clouds. And the opulence of Krishna praying makes him laugh at millions of Vaikuntha plants. What could a Vaishnava who is absorbed in love of God care about Vaikuntha? His heart is not there. He wants only Golok. He wants only that relationship with Krishna. As the gopis. During the Rasa dance, at one point, Krishna left the Rasa dance when the gopis became a little proud or started to think, who are we actually, what did we do in our last lives that we are here with Krishna? Krishna left, and they went looking everywhere for Krishna. And finally they could not find Krishna, but in due course of time they came across Lord Narayan. And they paid their obeisances to Lord Narayan and said, my dear Lord Narayan, please accept our most humble obeisances. Have you seen Krishna? So that is the mood of the gopis. And we see the same mood in Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. It is not surprising because Prabodhananda is actually described in the Krishna Lila to be Tungavidya, one of the intimate associates of Radharani. So in that way, she is not as a gopi in that other identity. Now that same personality has come in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not surprising that there is such an eternal identity behind the personality of Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, because after all, how else could he have such an intensity of Krishna consciousness when we have, well, call it lukewarm Krishna consciousness, right? It's there, we like Krishna, we do. I actually like Krishna, I do. I think he's quite nice. Don't you also think so? Quite nice, yes. I can appreciate Krishna. I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want a life without him. Oh no, not like that. But this is different, this is more like, I can't live without Krishna. And I cannot, not for a moment, not think of Krishna. Like that, such eagerness, such intensity. May Lord Chaitanya, whose shoulder are like a lion's, whose smiling cheeks are the sweetest of all sweet things, whose body displays various wonderful symptoms of ecstatic love for Krishna, whose features are as splendid as the whirl of a blossoming golden lotus flower, and who is Sri Radha and Krishna joined in a single form, protect you all. Uprooting the dense darkness in the hearts of the entire world, making the nectar ocean of pure love of Krishna overflow its shores without limit, and cooling this universe tormented by the threefold miseries, may the splendid moonlight of the moon of Lord Caitanya Candra eternally shine within your hearts. See, now you get the explanation of the name Caitanya Candra. It's a nice name because Chandra means moon, so the moon of Chaitanya. So here, Caitanya Candra is speaking about that moonlight is cooling. That moonlight will cool down the universe which is tormented by the threefold miseries. Miseries of mind and body, miseries of other living beings, and miseries of the devatas, or of natural circumstances. Next chapter. Chapter 4. Sri Chaitanya Bhakta Mahima, glorification of Lord Chaitanya's devotees. The splendid path of pure devotional service, which bewildered the great sages in the past, which material intelligence has no power to enter, which Sukadeva Goswami was not able to understand, and which merciful Lord Krishna never revealed to his closest friend, is the place where the dear devotees of Lord Gora happily enjoy pastimes. So again, a shocking verse. He says, which Sukadeva Goswami was not able to understand. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking Bhagavatam. He is Sukha. That is inconceivable. Nigama kalpatara kalitam phalam sukhamukat amrita drava samvitam pibata bhagavatam rasamanayam muhura hura sikabhuvi bhukaha. That it is the story, the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge, compared to like a mango in the tree. Sukadeva Goswami compared to like a parrot who is speaking that knowledge. And it said like when the parrot with its beak cuts the mango on the tree, the mango, after the parrot has cut it, the mango becomes sweeter. I've never tried it, but it must be like that. You can try. So, in the same way, when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking the transcendental knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, it was even becoming sweeter. So how come Sukadeva cannot understand? Why Sukadeva could not understand? Because ultimately Sukadeva was not fully in Madhurya Ras, in his eternal form. And therefore Sukadeva was not able to fully comprehend the ecstasy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or there where the dear devotees of Lord Gora happily enjoy pastimes. So, talk of impersonal liberation will not become bitter. The shackles of blind adherence to social and Vedic convention will not become loosened. So first of all, talk of impersonal liberation will not die out. It will not become bitter. It will go on. It will go on. The adherence to social and Vedic convention are like shackles that bind people. There is, I was speaking about today a little bit about the history of Smarta Brahmanism. You see, the Brahmin communities, they were specializing in studying different scriptures. So in this way you had Brahmanas who had different titles. Some families had the title Chaturvedi. They had studied all the four Vedas. Others had the title Trivedi. They focused on three Vedas. And then you had a community of Brahmanas known as Smartas. You see, the Vedas contain many ritualistic activities which are dealing with karma kanda rituals, with worshipping various devatas in complex rituals for various blessings and so on. And there's a lot of glorification like that. The Smriti Shastra, particularly the Manu Smriti or Manu Samhita, is very practical because it deals with the human aspect of life. It regulates the human aspect of life, and it invokes blessings in the human aspect of life. It deals with what we call all the rites of passage, all the particular essential human elements and changes in life that one goes through are dealt with in the Manu Smriti. Therefore the Manu Smriti was naturally attractive. So there was a community, a Brahmin community in South India who specialized in Manu Smriti. Still, it was considered of secondary importance actually. The study of the Manu Smriti was not on the same level as the Upanishads, because studying of the Upanishad was really dealing with the eternal absolute truth and attaining an eternal destination, whereas Manu Smriti is about regulating material life. So it was considered of a lower nature. So the South Indian families that were adhering to it were not in the highest brackets of social prestige. So to strengthen their position, they linked up with some brahmanas from Kashmir, who were also expert in the Manusmriti, and these Kashmiri Brahmanas were extremely expert. So the South Indian families, they were wealthy, and they brought large contingents of Kashmiris to the south. And in this way they reinforced the Smarta community. And the Smarta community became so powerful that at one point they captured the whole cultural landscape of India. And virtually speaking, they became the predominant social Brahminical influence in India. And their focus was very much on rules and regulation. Rules, everything, no, must be done completely correct. No, it's not correct. No, that's not correct. You cannot sit like this. No, that's not correct. No, that's also not correct. No, yeah, that's not correct either. Double not correct. And you are laughing too much. That's also not correct. And actually, nobody is correct. Only, of course, I am correct because nobody else. Anyway, so it created this kind of what Prabodhananda, who lived in this Smarta environment, calls the shackles. The shackles. He said, the shackles of blind adherence to social and Vedic convention will not become loosened. That's what he's talking about. And the tumultuous debate of Vedic scholars on merits of various useless spiritual paths, Nyaya and all sorts, Nava-Nyaya. See, there was Nyaya, which was a system of logic. And it was just, rather than on the basis of scripture, based on logic, they were trying to ascertain what is truth and come to the absolute truth. But then when Nyaya became confronted with Buddhism, it lost very much in debate. So then Nyaya became renewed in Ayodhya. And in Ayodhya they developed Nava-Nyaya. And Ayodhya was very careful in keeping this Nava-Nyaya as their treasure philosophy. Only Pandits from Ayodhya knew it, and nobody was allowed to take it out. Students came to learn, and that was allowed, but nobody could take any notes. Strictly forbidden to take any notes. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya went from Bengal, and when he went to Ayodhya, he memorized everything. He had such a sharp intellect. He memorized it all, and he brought Nava-Nyaya to Navadvip, and there it grew up. And then the Nava-Nyaya of Navadvip was further evolved than the one of Ayodhya, and Navadvip became the main center of Nava-Nyaya philosophy. But these Nava-Nyaya philosophers could spend days, like discussing, like, is the air in the pot or is the pot in the air? Yeah? Such kind of questions could really puzzle the minds of such philosophers. And I will leave it for what it is. My brain switches off here. I'm sorry. Where is renunciation? Where is tranquil indifference to the temptations of sense pleasure or the torments of hell? Where? Who is actually free from temptations of sense pleasure? Who is not lamenting when he's suffering? Who is beyond all that, beyond the torments of hell? Where are great waves of humbleness? Where is uncommon prowess? Where is the path of intense devotion? Where are these virtues present in the same way they are present in those who've made Lord Gora the goal of their lives? So, alright, there is a very uncompromised standard in the movement of Lord Chaitanya. We must understand that the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is simply a modern form of the movement of Lord Chaitanya, and that the substance of this movement is Lord Chaitanya and the standards of Lord Chaitanya. It all begins with Lord Chaitanya. For example, Every day we are worshipping Lord Nrsingadev. Why are we worshipping Lord Nrsingadev? What? What?
Because he protects.
For protection. For protection. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, but why do we need to worship Lord Nrsingadev for protection? Krishna doesn't protect. We are devotees of Krishna. Krishna protects. He kills so many demons every day. Krishna kills a demon actually, practically. So Krishna is the protector. So why Lord Nrsingadev? Why not just Krishna? Now one could answer that question in different ways. I could give various answers on that question. But the first answer to the question is, why would we worship Lord Nrsingadev? The first answer is because Lord Chaitanya worshipped Nrsingadev. As simple as that. It's a very simple answer, but that's the truth actually. That's the very foundation why Nrsinga worship entered into our Sampradaya. Otherwise, our business is Krishna. Oh my dear Lord Narayan, have you seen Krishna? Please accept our most humble obeisances. Have you seen Krishna? Krishna. Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana. Only Vasudeva Parayana. We are only absorbed in Krishna. What else would we be absorbed in? Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hey. Yes. Krishna, 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 Parimam. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava. Krishna Kesava Pai. Yes, so Krishna. Only Krishna. Then why not Nrsingadev? He is Krishna, says Prahlad. And of course, we could say Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev is especially soft. Soft. He has like nails, like thunderbolts, teeth, you know, the manes are covered in drops of blood, and his garland is the intestines of Hiranyakasipu, especially soft, and he roars, and no one goes in front of him, not Lord Brahma, and not Lakshmi Devi even, and nobody, not Lord Shiva, nobody went near. Lord Brahma pushed Prahlad forward. Prahlad, he came for you, you deal with him. Yes, he came for Prahlad, out of his soft-heartedness, because he could not tolerate that this demon Hiranyakasipu would lay his hands on Prahlad. So he is the all-compassionate feature of the Lord. He takes this voracious form out of his soft-heartedness. Therefore, he's especially soft-hearted, especially inclined. So, okay, that could be another answer. A third answer that I could give to the question is that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that in his book Navadvip Bhavataranga. It is an interesting book. There is the Navadvip Mahatmya and the Navadvip Bhavataranga. So the Navadvip Mahatmya describes to us the 9 islands of Navadvip, and describes what goes on in these different, what pastimes in the past have taken place there, and what pastimes Lord Gauranga performed, and so on. And Nrsinga is described there as the place where Lord Nrsinga came and washed his hands, and where Lord, after the activity of bifurcating Hiranyakasipu and so on, and Lord Nrsingadev is being worshipped there as a deity of Lord Nrsingadev. Supposedly the abodes of various demigods are there worshipping the Lord, and so the pond is there where he washed his hands. Then Navadvip Bhavataranga, where Navadvip Mahatmya describes the place and the nature of the place, so gives us the tattva. But Navadvip Bhavataranga takes us again to the same places in Navadvip, but this time we get the internal experience of the devotee, how he's praying and what he's experiencing. So this time Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes to the same places that he's already described, but now he gives us what he goes through and what he experiences, and he is praying. He is praying. And he is praying to Lord Nrsimhadev, please, please, you are Sarva Vigna Vinasan. You are the one who removes all obstacles. Please remove all obstacles from my heart so that I may get devotion to Radha and Krishna. So that's the third reason that Lord Nrsimhadev is Sarva Vigna Vinasan. Well, like that we can discuss a little bit, and there's a lot to say. Yes, Lord Chaitanya's movement brings such dedication. We don't find anywhere else that people are actually becoming so renounced. Kavi Karnapur wrote a book, another biography of Lord Chaitanya in the form of a drama. It's called the Caitanya Candramrta. This drama is mentioned in Caitanya Candramrta as an authorized biography. The drama has over 70 actors on stage, so it's a very big drama, and it tells the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Kavi Karnapur, in that drama, has a section where it is Gyan and Vairagya, knowledge and renunciation, feel totally depleted in Kali Yuga. They're walking around in a starved condition. They're virtually become very weak and unhealthy, and they are just lost. They find no shelter anywhere. They're roaming around and just nothing. And then finally they see a sadhu. And they say, a sadhu. And he is very renounced. And he appears saintly, and they are so happy. But next moment, the sadhu makes a public display to his people of great pride. And they suddenly realize he's not a saintly person at all. He's actually an arrogant demon who's just using the guise of a sadhu for his own glorification. So, therefore, Prabodhananda is saying, where is renunciation? Where is it? Where is tranquil indifference to the temptation of sense pleasure? So many are falling down. Where are great waves of humbleness? It's not possible unless one takes shelter. Spiritual life is not casual. Spiritual life is not just something that, I'm going to try it. No, sooner or later it has to come on the cutting edge. Right? That's the point. We have to bring spiritual life to the cutting edge. And the cutting edge means that we have to feel that we are taking it to our maximum capacity. That we really give it the best we can. Otherwise we'll never be satisfied, and otherwise we'll never come to this level that we'll experience tranquil indifference to the temptations of sense pleasure or the torments of hell, or that we will have great waves of humbleness. No, that will only be possible if we are taking it to the cutting edge, where we say, I'm going to try to give it my best. I'm just going to surrender as much as I can with difficulty. I'm going to adjust my life with courage to what the Acharyas have said. I'm just going to do it. Although I'm afraid, of course I'm afraid, right? My God, so much to give up, so much, and what will I get back? Afraid I am, but still, I will do. Yes. All that can come from taking shelter in Lord Chaitanya. Now the question is, how do we take shelter in Lord Chaitanya? One thing is in chanting Hare Krishna. Very simple. Somehow or other, just chant. Can't, chant. Somehow or other, switch off the mind and chant. But there is no but. It just has to be done, right? This morning I was chanting, and then I was sitting in front of my Giriraj, my Govinda. I'm seeing him as Govinda. I'm seeing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some are saying that that Giriraj is Haridasarvarya, the greatest servant of Krishna. He provides everything for Krishna. He provides caves, he provides pigments, colors that he used to decorate the body, nice grasses for the cows. Govardhan is the greatest servant of Krishna. Some are worshipping Govardhan nowadays. Some worship him as the servant of Krishna, but I don't. I worship him as the Supreme Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, would not step on Govardhan. Oh no. Why? Because one cannot step on Krishna. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, no, we cannot step on Govardhan unless you are in Sakyabhav. Because the cowherd boys, they can step on Krishna's shoulder. Then you can. Then otherwise, no. If you are in that mood of friendship, yes, then you can step on Krishna's shoulders. Otherwise, you cannot step on Govardhan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu worshipped Govardhan Shila for 3 years. And he actually worshipped the Shila by bathing it with his tears. And then he gave that Shila to Raghunadas Goswami, who later gave that Shila, and the thumbprint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in that Shila. And Raghunadas then worshipped the Shila with 8 tulasi manjaris, and by daily bathing, and then Lord Chaitanya told him he should also daily offer some sweet. And then later Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami received that Shila from Raghunadas Goswami, and he worshipped that Shila. And now that Shila is in Vrindavan in the Radha Gokulananda temple, where you can still see it. And you can even film it, which is a good idea. Yes, it's a very nice temple anyway, to film the deities. There are also the deities of Baladev, Vijayabhusan, named Vijay Govinda. And these deities, they have these conch shell eyes, and then they have a white ring and a red ring, and they look so intense. And Radharani looks as if she's hypnotized by Krishna. What shall I say? Baladev Vijayabhusan's deities. Very nice. So yes, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, in his writing, I think you're tasting what I'm tasting. There is an urgency, there is an eagerness, there is an intensity in the way he writes. Krishna consciousness for Srila Prabodhananda is something that is not just part of his life, it's the all in all. Nothing else matters, nothing else is of any importance. It's Krishna that needs all the time, all the energy. Pranir Atta Diya Vacha, Shreyamachvana Sada, all the energy, right? All the energy, the prana, the artha, the diya, the vacha, the intelligence, the possession, the life energy, the vacha, the words, all to be dedicated to Krishna. We see that tonight. Some dance so enthusiastically, they seem to leap over the mountains and oceans, and others repeatedly revile Indra and the other demigods, who among the devotees, headed by Advaita Chandra, is now not overwhelmed with bliss in the dancing festival of Lord Chaitanya. In this world, there has not been, there will not be, and there is not now the touch of this kind of nectar from the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is only by the great mercy of Lord Gaura, who enjoys transcendental pastimes, and by the power of devotional service to him, that the non-envious devotees know anything about the nectar. Lord Chaitanya is worshipped by the Upanishad. Lord Chaitanya destroys the pride of the arrogant demigods and sages who do not worship his lotus feet. Ah, what person is so fortunate that he has personally seen Lord Chaitanya? The next chapter is called Sri Chaitanya Bhakta Ninda, criticism of those who are not devotees of Lord Chaitanya. My mind thinks that a person who has countless pious credits and has completely taken shelter of Lord Hari, but does not worship Lord Chaitanya, is very poor and unfortunate. Pathetic are the followers of Vedic ritual. Pathetic are the practitioners of severe austerity. Pathetic are the dull-witted fools whose mouths have blossomed with the words, I am Brahman. Why do we lament for these animals in the guise of men, intoxicated by the taste of things other than Krishna? Alas, they have not even tasted a drop of the nectar of Lord Gaura. It's okay. We'll start to cut now. Cutting down those. Get a little sectarian maybe. You might not want to send Srila Bhakti Prabodhananda to an interfaith kind of exchange. It looks like, is he intolerant? Is he maybe somewhat a fundamentalist? No, one should not mistake the great and pure devotees for fundamentalists. One should understand that they speak out of ecstasy. And out of ecstasy, they cannot tolerate anything but ecstasy. And when they see that people are adhering to a life where ecstasy is lacking, they cannot other than condemn such a life. A life that is suitable for crows. How can you speak about someone's life like that? That's a life suitable for crows. But how could you call it anything else when they eat only garbage? See, so in this way, Prabodhananda is speaking, and we must understand like that. Pathetic, pathetic. The golden moon of Lord Gaurachandra now creates great tidal waves in the ocean of love for Lord Krishna. Those who will not dive into that ocean must find themselves diving instead into an ocean of unwanted deeds. So that again, puff. If you don't dive into the ocean of Lord Chaitanya's pastime, know then that you will be diving into an ocean of unwanted deeds. Think about, take that home. Okay, let's put that under your belt. At least that's how it feels to me. When I hear that, I think, whoa. That's just taking the gloves off, right? And showing the claws and just getting into the substance and showing it as it is. Take to Krishna or engage in unwanted deeds. There is no alternative. That's actually a deep truth. Okay, now we go to the next chapter. Daimyarupa Swaminanda. The author criticizes himself for his wretched condition. So now we go. I am cheated, I am cheated, I am cheated. Of this there is no doubt. Although Lord Gaura has plunged the entire world in a flood of love of Krishna, I have not been touched by even a single drop. So again, a very beautiful prayer that we can just, it sort of expresses our own position, somehow or other. We've been cheated, we've been cheated, we've been cheated, it hasn't touched us somehow or other. We missed it, it's right there. It's all around us. Lord Chaitanya's movement is happening everywhere. There are devotees all over the world, here in Zurich and in Basel, and God knows how many Sangha groups there are. And then, you know, we were today in the spa in Kurbad, yeah, and bubbling to heal the leg, and people were saying, Hare Krishna, pointing at us, Hare Krishna, yeah. Oh, Hare Krishna. Yeah. They know us, they know very well. Yes, because devotees are everywhere. It's like on a plane, you know, the steward came walking on Alitalia, the steward came walking down the aisle of the plane and sang, Sri Guru Charana. The Italian opera, you know, effects, right? Devotees are everywhere. Everywhere, all over the place. We're surrounded now. And yet, somehow or other, I got cheated. It's somehow or other, I did not become absorbed. Or I did not become touched by a single drop. I am chained by sinful desires. I've fallen into the painful ocean of repeated birth and death. The sharks and crocodiles of lust and anger are devouring me alive. I have no shelter. O Lord Caitanya Candramrta, please rescue me. Please give me the shelter of your lotus feet. The sharks and crocodiles of lust and anger are devouring me alive. So think about that. Is that us? You know, lust and anger are so strong in this age, so deep, so strong. Different types of anger, hot anger and cold, envy, anger can manifest also active and passive, just in our attitude towards others. Who are these people? They are strange. All people are strange, except me. Yeah. So, that's envy. Just not letting living beings live. The living beings are praja. Praja is that which has taken birth. That which has taken birth has a right to exist. That is praja. So any creature that has taken birth has a right to exist, and not just, alright, you have a right to exist. No, I mean, exist with a little space also, right? You know, somewhere, yeah. Of course there may be limits, but... Okay, next chapter. I'm going quick. It's only 9:05, almost finished. The firm conviction that Lord Chaitanya is the worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead. O foolish mind, please take shelter of Lord Gauranga, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is hidden from the view of the Vedas, and who with his own transcendental potency plunged the entire world into the great nectar ocean of love for the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. As Lord Chaitanya is known as the hidden incarnation. He is also hidden in the Vedas. It is there, but not so easily found. After all, it says in the Vedic literature, Tri-Yugi Narayan, that Narayan appears in 3 yugas. The Lord, there is no avatar in the age of Kali. No. That's what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was confronted by his brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, Gopinath, don't be so sentimental. The Lord is Tri Yuginaraya. Yes. So there is no incarnation in this age. So Gopinath, go home, relax. You know, you're getting carried away by your devotion. In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a hard nut to crack. And a hard nut to crack. Of course, he was cracked eventually. That's another story. But this argument, Tri Yuginaraya, is there. Yeah? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as the Chana avatar, the hidden avatar. He remains hidden. But ultimately he's there in scripture. In Adi Lila 2.22, that's easy, you can remember that. Adi Lila 2.22, there is a long purport with a whole list of verses which establish Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead from various scriptures. A useful list. So there is scriptural evidence for the divinity of Lord Chaitanya, without a doubt. But it may not be known to all. The Vaishnavacharyas bring this out. And now this knowledge is no longer hidden. Now this movement of Lord Chaitanya is becoming more and more available to all. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in Jaiva Dharma is describing how the lotus of Lord Chaitanya's pastime is gradually opening. And that is an interesting principle. We see how gradually more and more is coming out of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and of the purpose of this movement. Brahma Vaivarta Purana is describing the future, what has not happened yet, and is describing that what will happen. It says in this, there will be a golden age, it says, in this age of Kali. There will be a golden age, and it says that this golden age will be will be going on for 10,000 years, and that in those 10,000 years Krishna consciousness will become predominant and so on. But it doesn't just say that. It is said it will come to a point that there is Ekavarna Haribhakta. There will be only one class of men, no more Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. There will be only one class of men, Haribhakta, transcendental devotees. So that's something. So what does the golden age look like? That all the churches become temples, and even the bars, we close them down, they become temples, and Zurich becomes a city of temples, and all the bells ring for Krishna now. Yeah? Is that what it will be? And water tanks will become holy tanks instead of places of sense gratification, and so on. The Zurich Lake will know transcendental boat festivals where the Lord will go for a boat ride every year. Famous Zurich Boat Festival. Have you heard? You heard? Oh, what will the golden age be like? One thing is for sure. It will not just be a time where Krishna consciousness will become the predominant world religion, but it will be a time where Ekavarna Haribhakta, where the world will be all devotees. It will go beyond religious duty. It will go to the spontaneous platform. Someone comes with a mridanga on the street, others are looking out and say, hey, there goes a guy with a mridanga. Let's go down with some kartals. And then someone says, hey, look at that. There's some guys in mridanga and kartals. Let's have Harinam. And someone else is watching, boy, there's a Harinam party out there. Let's put some pizzas in the oven, they're going to be hungry. And in this way, it will all happen. Spontaneous. Maybe we have to come back just to see the golden age, if it's going to last, if it's going to take longer. Can't miss out on that. Let's move along a little faster because the time is running out. I'm going to the end. Who is this divine person, filling the directions with the sound of his feet, muddying the ground with his tears, and whitening the sky with his loud laughter, his handsome broad hips covered with a saffron garment, and his form as splendid as the moon, jubilantly dancing in a flower garden by the shore of the saltwater ocean. Now we're seeing Lord Chaitanya in his internal pastimes in Jagannath Puri, in his final days, as he was not preaching anymore, but as he was just absorbed in great ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya remained 18 years in Jagannath Puri. For 6 years, Lord Chaitanya performed public activities with Ratha Yatra, and the devotees from Bengal would visit him every year. And for the last 12 years, Lord Chaitanya was absorbed in an ecstatic transcendental madness, running all through the hills of Puri in the dunes and seeing Govardhan, seeing the ocean and mistaking it for the Yamuna and whatnot. Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy knew no limits when he was seeing Krishna in that way. And finally, some last words. The fortunate, when golden Lord Hari appeared in this world, his glory flooded the world with the nectar of pure love of Krishna, and there was tumultuous chanting of the holy names of Lord Hari. Oh, will that sweet time ever come again? The fortunate town of Navadvip remains on the earth. The seashore remains. The city of Jagannath Puri remains. The holy names of Lord Krishna remain. Alas, alas, I do not see anywhere the same kind of festival of pure love for Lord Hari. O Lord Chaitanya, O ocean of mercy, will I ever see your transcendental glory again? So this is a little bit of the final mode of separation after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya. With that, I gave you tonight a little sample of the Caitanya Candramrta, a very nice book. I made like a quick selection. I did not carefully choose every verse for the occasion of this evening, so that all of you would get just the right piece of nectar, and carefully thought. I studied the whole day to sort of strategically choose the verses so that I would relate to the Swiss mentality and possibly, and so on. And so that everyone could get on board with it and identify with it. No, I didn't do all that. I just dipped into it spontaneously as if it was a source of nectar, and just took it as it came out and just threw it around the room, and drops were flying, and you just caught whatever drops you could. And I think I hope that you have seen that this indeed is an important work. It's by the way, an introduction to it has been written by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just if you sort of wonder how authorized is this book, just in case, if you went, was it really authorized? And then I must say, yes, actually it's extremely authorized, yes. Most authorized, yes. And in fact, then why don't we hear from this more often? That's what I would like to know. It's because there is more between heaven and earth than ordinary mortals might suspect, to present an argument prepared by Shakespeare. I think we can't, but I feel that I could have spoken on the Bhagavad Gita tonight, but I thought others could have also maybe spoken on the Bhagavad Gita. But because I have some broader knowledge of this field, I thought maybe I should speak on this topic and give you an idea of what's out there. Because it's not only what's out there, but actually give you an idea of the inner substance of of the movement that we're part of. When I'm every year teaching a course in the Radhadesh Bhaktivedanta College about Caitanya Candramrta, and for a number of years I was naming the course the Caitanya Candramrta that provides us our identity. That provides us our identity as practitioners. It is there where we find out what our movement is, what you're part of. By studying the history of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Caitanya Candramrta and related books, we're finding out what our identity as a Gaudiya Vaishnava is. And if we are going deeper into that identity as a practitioner, as a sadhaka, then we will emerge in our eternal identity, full of Krishna prema. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Candramrta and related biographies provide us our identity, which is, I think, important. So therefore, that I wanted to bring out tonight. Now I'll stop, because you have to go home. I only have to go upstairs, so that's easy. But maybe there's still a question or so. Try deal with that for a few minutes. Yeah.
Regarding the devotee is not concerned to go even when he is absorbed in Krishna Lila, sincerely. Srila Prabhupada explained that the devotee is not even concerned to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So, what is I'm always very impressed and very curious to know what is the heart of a spiritual master who is taking so many nice risks for initiating disciples coming from Kali Yuga. What is his vision and what is his motivation to take so many disciples into the movement of Caitanya Mahaprabhu? Does he just meditate how to take birth in the movement of Caitanya Mahaprabhu this lifetime and next lifetime? Or he depends only on the mercy of Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his spiritual master? This is my deep question when I see such sincere speakers and about in the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the motivation of the spiritual master? What is his depth in his heart?
Yeah. I guess one can only speak from a personal level. You can only speak for yourself, and anyone can only speak for himself. And from a general level, one can say, the spiritual master must operate in that mood of Prabhupada. He must, in that mood of Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, he is acting out of compassion. And one can only be compassionate if one has a better quality of life, you see. And unless you have a better quality of life, how can you feel real compassion? Yeah. So, a better quality of life means because one is experiencing such nectar in Krishna consciousness, then out of compassion one can give Krishna consciousness to so many others and so on, and initiate and all that. On a personal level, I can only say, I'm just I'm trying to do something for Prabhupada. I'm trying to do something for this movement. always felt that somebody ought to do it, you know. Like, I have a bold nature. I would always think like, well, if people are all hesitating, shall we do it, shall we not do it? And I would sort of think, well, I guess we should do it, okay, no one doesn't, let me do it. Right? So I use my bold nature in the service of God. Try to. So I took sannyas and looked around. I'm still looking around if anyone else is going to take sannyas. You know, I read Prabhupada's books, and then it says at one point, right, you should take sannyas. And I was as married as anybody else, right? And I didn't have a bad marriage, you know, as rumors sometimes go. No, not at all. I had a good marriage for 24 years, and there was nothing wrong with it. And I could have maybe been married for another 24 years, but I felt like didn't seem what Prabhupada was writing in his books. So then I thought, okay, no kids, so I may as well take sannyas then. Then took sannyas, and I thought everybody else is going to do it too. Not now, maybe, but one day. We shall see. Every year in Mayapur, on Prabhupada's disappearance day, there's the arati at Prabhupada's bed, in Prabhupada's room, and then there is Prabhupada's chadar is taken on that day and is put around the picture of Prabhupada, because that's the system in Samadhi. They take the chadar of the person and put that there in the Samadhi. And then it is there on Prabhupada's bed, and then at the end, these days usually Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he takes this chadar and he goes around with the chadar and puts it on everyone's head. And I tell you, it's a real heavy chadar. When you get this chadar on your head, you feel some weight, you know, and it sort of makes me feel like that a symbol of having to take some weight, of some responsibility for Prabhupada's movement, you know, some weight for spreading this movement. Although I'm just a small, insignificant person, still this chadar on my head sort of imposes it on my head that I really ought to do so. Any other question? I'll stop at 9:30. It's only 6 minutes. Then we'll let everybody go. So early. It's Friday night anyway. The weekend has started. Yes?
So you were speaking about this light heart and the golden heart. So
the cotton swab.
Cotton swab, yeah. How can we cultivate the golden heart?
You don't want a cotton swab heart? I don't know if someone who has a super cotton swab heart can just sort of get a golden heart. It's difficult, you know. This gravity, right? But I guess one way we can cultivate it is by being very humble about our own experiences. See, the cotton swab heart will, oh, I feel some ecstasy, oh, it's coming. So very quickly swept up by the experience, tears are coming from my eyes now, Bhava, I'm in Bhava. Whereas the grave person is thinking, I'm not great, I don't have much devotion, it cannot be very much. So then the ecstasy goes deep within the grave person. So this gravity is the key to the golden heart. It's not easy to just... And gravity is easily confused for depression. Not only by others, but also by ourselves. Oh my God, and become too grave. That's... can't get too serious, you know. I mean, I have it myself, you know, it's like, when we get too serious, I start cracking jokes. Yeah. So in a way we are what we are, but we see that Prabhupada really is clearly the example of one with a golden heart, who is grave and deep and who's full of ecstasy but not showing it so much. And Prabhupada, of course, is our leader, our anchor, who grounds us. There may be some other acharya who has more of a cotton swab type of heart, and he's an ecstasy here and ecstasy there, and he may be more difficult to follow. Prabhupada is deep, full of wisdom, and with behind it the devotional love. So we have all different roles to play. So if you're a cotton swab person, maybe that's just what you got to be. But follow Prabhupada, who's our anchor. Then we'll stay on the ground. Obviously, if one has a cotton swab heart, that's in itself not a problem, but it can you can get carried away by it also. So we need some anchor. Prabhupada provides the anchor. Otherwise, on the waves of ecstasy, you don't know where you're going to wind up. Okay. Well, that was it. Goodbye, Zurich, and see you again. It was fun to be here somehow or other. Thank you for the nice experiences in the mountains and here in Zurich Temple. Very comfortable. Had a good time actually. I might come back.
Oh, don't let us wait too long.
Thank you so much. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Hare.
Kanana Swami 09.08.2013